The 10 most scandalous and shocking facts about Bob Dole. Bob Dole, a towering figure in American politics, left an indelible mark as a U.S. Senator and the Republican presidential candidate in 1996. Known for his sharp wit and staunch conservatism, Dole's career was not without controversy and intrigue. Here are 10 of the most scandalous, shocking, and interesting facts about Bob Dole. Fact number 1. A humble childhood in Russell, Kansas. Bob Dole's early life was marked by the economic strife of the Great Depression, which hit the small agricultural town of Russell, Kansas, where he was born on July 22, 1923. The financial difficulties faced by his family were severe, with his father, Doran Ray Dole, running a small creamery and his mother, Bina M. Dole, selling sewing machines and vacuum cleaners door to door. To help make ends meet, young Bob took up various jobs, including being a soda jerk and selling newspapers. Despite these challenges, Dole was a standout student and athlete at Russell High School, where he participated in football, basketball, and track. He graduated in 1941, imbued with a resilient spirit that would define his later political ethos. Reflecting on these years, Dole famously remarked, "I know what it's like to struggle, and I know what it's like to overcome," a sentiment that resonated throughout his political career, grounding his policy perspectives and public persona. Number 2. Bob Dole's World War II service. Bob Dole's military service began in 1942 when he enlisted in the U.S. Army, eventually rising to the rank of second lieutenant in the famed 10th Mountain Division. His deployment to Italy as part of the Allied campaign brought him to the harrowing battlefields of the Apennine Mountains. On April 14, 1945, during an assault on a German position near Casteldiano, Dole was struck by exploding shrapnel, which severely damaged his right shoulder and spine, nearly costing him his life. The injuries left him with permanent disabilities, including a paralyzed right arm. During his extensive rehabilitation, which included 3 years at Percy Jones Army Hospital, Dole received 2 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star with an oak leaf cluster for his bravery. These military honors underscored his sacrifice and valor, profoundly shaping his subsequent advocacy for veterans and the disabled. Dole once commented on his service and injuries, saying, "You learn from every experience. I learned from my wartime experience that life is a very precious gift." Number 3. The Watergate Connection. During the turbulent years of the Watergate scandal, Bob Dole served as chairman of the Republican National Committee, RNC, from 1971 until 1973. His tenure coincided with one of the most notorious political scandals in American history, involving the break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate office complex and the subsequent cover-up by members of the Nixon administration. While Dole was not implicated in the planning or execution of the break-in, his role required him to navigate the political fallout and defend President Richard Nixon until his resignation in 1974. Dole's steadfast loyalty to Nixon during this period attracted both support and criticism. Reflecting on these events years later, Dole admitted the ordeal's impact on the Republican Party, stating, "Watergate was a very difficult time for the party and for me personally. It taught us all a lot about integrity and accountability." Number 4. The alleged affair with a Washington socialite. Throughout the 1970s, rumors circulated in Washington about an alleged affair between Bob Dole and a well-known Washington socialite. These rumors never solidified into verified facts, but they lingered in the backdrop of his career, creating a stark contrast to his public image as a devoted husband and respected war hero. During this turbulent time in his personal life, Dole was married to his first wife, Phyllis Holden, with whom he had one daughter, Robin, born in 1954. Their marriage ended in divorce in 1972, and Dole remarried Elizabeth Hanford in 1975, who later became a U.S. Senator and a cabinet secretary. The persistent rumors added a layer of complexity to his character and were often whispered about among insiders, highlighting the challenges public figures face in balancing personal integrity with public scrutiny. Despite the speculative nature of these rumors, Dole continued to focus on his legislative duties and maintained his reputation as a committed public servant, addressing the gossip as just another aspect of a life lived in the political spotlight. Number 5. Controversial comments on race in 1995. In a 1995 appearance on the television program Meet the Press, Bob Dole sparked a significant controversy with his comments on affirmative action. He described the policy as a flawed policy that perpetuates racial divisions, which led to a swift backlash from civil rights organizations and his Democratic adversaries. This incident highlighted the tense racial and social dynamics in America, especially regarding policies aimed at addressing historical inequities. Dole, standing by his words, argued that society should adopt a merit-based approach rather than one influenced by racial considerations. His comments ignited a broader debate on the role and effectiveness of affirmative action in American society, underscoring the polarized views on how to achieve racial equality. Number 6. The Viagra Endorsement in 1998. In 1998, Bob Dole took a surprising step by becoming the spokesman for Pfizer's Viagra, a medication used to treat erectile dysfunction. This move was unexpected, given Dole's conservative stature in previous political roles, including his candidacy for the presidency. Critics saw this endorsement as an unseemly transition from public service to personal gain, but Dole presented it as an opportunity to discuss a medical issue that affected many, including himself. By endorsing Viagra, Dole helped destigmatize conversations about erectile dysfunction, a topic often considered taboo, particularly among men of his generation. He publicly discussed his own experiences with the condition, emphasizing the importance of addressing health issues openly. This endorsement marked a notable shift in Dole's post-political career, from a focus on traditional conservative issues to more personal and public health advocacy, bridging his influence from the political arena to public health awareness. Number 7. Health battles and resilience. Throughout his later years, Bob Dole confronted significant health issues, beginning with a prostate cancer diagnosis in June 1991. This diagnosis led to surgery at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, followed by a public dialogue about his health, highlighting his vulnerability and resilience. Dole was open about the impact of his World War II injuries, particularly the severe damage to his right shoulder and spine, which resulted in a permanent disability in his right arm and ongoing pain. He used his platform to advocate for health issues and disability rights, showing that despite physical limitations, he remained actively involved in public affairs. His resilience in the face of such personal adversities was inspirational to many and became a defining aspect of his public legacy. Number 8. Presidential aspirations and campaigns. Bob Dole's presidential ambitions were a major aspect of his political career. He first ran for president in 1980, achieving minimal success. His second attempt during the 1988 election saw him winning the Iowa caucuses, showcasing his potential, but he eventually lost the nomination to George H.W. Bush. His most determined bid came in 1996 when he won the Republican nomination but was defeated in the general election by Bill Clinton. Remarkably, Dole resigned from his Senate seat in June 1996 to focus on his presidential campaign, demonstrating his profound commitment to achieving the presidency. His campaigns, characterized by his resilience and dedication, highlighted his deep-rooted belief in public service and governance. Number 9. The Heartfelt Humor. Bob Dole's wit was a cornerstone of his public persona, allowing him to diffuse criticism and connect with audiences on a personal level. Known for his quick humor, Dole often used it effectively during public appearances and debates. One of his memorable lines came during the 1976 vice presidential debate, where he coined the phrase, "I could have danced all night," mocking the duration and intensity of political campaigns. Additionally, Dole often joked about his war injuries with self-deprecating humor, famously quipping, "I always wanted to be left-handed, and now I am," which showcased his ability to use humor as a tool for coping and resilience. This blend of humor and humility made him a relatable figure, softening his public image and endearing him to many. Number 10. Post-political career and criticisms. In his later years, Bob Dole emerged as a critical voice within the Republican Party, particularly during the 2016 presidential election. His critiques of the party's direction under Donald Trump were emblematic of his broader concerns about the GOP's trajectory. Dole's willingness to speak out against the party line, even when it risked alienating some of his longtime allies, highlighted his commitment to principle over partisanship. His candid assessments, often delivered with his characteristic directness, drew attention to the growing divisions within the party and raised questions about its future path. Dole's outspoken nature in these later years underscored his enduring role as a statesman concerned with the integrity and values of American political life.